In this video, we're going to be looking at estimating and rounding. So the learning goal for the video is that students will understand how to use estimating and rounding and the strategies to check the reasonableness of their answers. So the reason that we use this is that we want to be able to check that our equations or the multiplication or the division equations that we do are around the right answer. And we use this by doing estimating and rounding. At the end of this lesson, I want to make sure that you know how to round to the first digit. You can estimate with multiplication and division, and you can use the approximately equal to symbol, okay? So before we get onto this, I want to make sure that you understand what rounding is. You should have done it in previous videos. So here's, I want you to write this down, and it's an easy way for us to remember it. So to round a number to the first digit, look at the second digit of the number. If it is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, you keep the first digit the same and replace the other digits with zeros. Now that's important, that part there. If it is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, increase the first digit by 1 and replace the other digits with 0. So it's important that when we're rounding to the first digit, we know which one the first digit is and the rest of the numbers are 0. So a way that I like to think of it, 0 to 9, so any of the numbers within 0 to 9, if it's in between 0 and 4, it's going to stay the same. Okay, the number will stay the same. If it's 5 or more, so 5 up to 9, it's going to increase by 1. So let's look at that, what that looks like in an example. So we're going to round 361 here to the first digit. I'm just going to reset this question, then we'll answer that one as we go. So we're going to round 361 to the first digit. Now it's important that we understand what the first digit is. Most of us think of this as our first digit, okay? So it's a number in the ones column. That's actually not the case. The first digit will be the one furthest to the left. So here is our first digit. So we're going to be rounding this number here, and that means that once we've done it, all the numbers after it must be 0. So that's 361 rounding to the first digit. So we focus on 3. We look to the second number, or the number to the right, which is 6. Okay, and we know that 6 here, if it is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we increase the first digit by 1. So we look to the right, see that it is 6, so we're going to increase this number here to the right. So our answer is going to actually be 4, and the rest of the numbers will be 0. So by rounding 361 to the first digit, we focus on the number furthest on the left, look to the right, see if it is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then we increase the number. If it's 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, that number stays the same. We then replace all numbers after it with a 0. Let's do another one just to make sure that we can get this right. Okay, let's round this number here, 2050. So following the pattern, I'm rounding it to the first digit, so it is this number. I look to the right, it is a 0, so this number will stay the same. I then change all these to 0, so the answer will be 2000. Now that's quite simple, it's easy to round, but now we need to know that we can, when we're estimating or we're rounding with an equation. So we're going to put an equation up now, and we're going to see how this helps us with our equations. Okay, we're going to use estimating and rounding for this equation here, and it's 368 times 52. Now I know how to round to the first digit, and we're going to do this now with estimating with multiplication and division. But before we do that, it's important that we understand the symbols that we need to use. Now usually when we do an equation, we do the equal sign. And we know that that equal means it's going to give us the exact result. But when we're doing rounding and estimating, we use a different symbol. It's sort of like a wavy, okay, it looks like a wavy equal sign. And what that means is approximately equal to. So when we're doing rounding, we're not actually getting an exact answer, we're getting an approximate answer. So when we do the equal sign in this equation, we've got to make sure that we put the wavy equal sign, which means approximately equal to. So let's give this one an example. So we want to round this equation here. We're going to round both numbers to the first digit. So I'm going to make sure I highlight the ones that we want to round. And we're going to go, okay, approximately equal to. So the first number we have 368. I look to the right, it is 6, so this number is going to go up. So my first number is 400. Times that by, we've got 52. I look to the right, it is 2, so that number is going to stay the same. I'll change it to replace the 2 with a 0. So I have 400 times 50. Now again, I'm going to do the approximate equal sign because we're going through the stages. It won't be an exact answer. All I need to do now is times 400 by 50, and I know that I get my answer of 20,000. So when I actually do the equation, I should get an actual answer, but this just gives us a reasonable answer as we go through. Now, as you go through, make sure you understand how we do the rounding. Write down that strategy, and if you have any notes, make sure you bring that in. Thanks, guys.